I'm gonna bring them. I'm gonna bring them right in here. Hey, good morning. Welcome back to Ohrmundt Simmentals. This is Chris. Hey, Photo. Photo's still a good girl. Sometimes Photo can be a little bit of a snot, but she's a good cow. She raises good calves. She has good calves. Actually, one of her calves a couple years ago, yeah, not last year, but 2 years ago, she had a really nice cash flow, the Gen X cash flow bull calf, and it was twisted in her. And we had to call the vet, and she came over and actually put like the chains on it and then put a bar and actually untwisted it. It was crazy. And then the calf came right out. And actually, I think I'm gonna grab this DF431. She doesn't have a real big bag, never has, but she has really good calves. Actually, she's the mom of our really nice bull calf. Well, not bull calf anymore, but that was her calf last year. She's doing the 20th. Yeah, so she's doing a couple of days to a mic drop. If she had a mic drop, that'd be sweet. So I think I'm gonna nab her quick. Somewhere my fence is grounded out because I can hear it. Not snapping, like I can hear it through the wire. And now I think I'm gonna bring at least one or two of these animals. I'm gonna bring them I'm gonna bring them right in here. Sorry, I kind of forgot you didn't know where I'm pointing. But I don't need to bring them all in here. I think that one heifer I'll leave over there. Yeah, can you hear that? I shouldn't be hearing that right there. And one thing I don't like about these panels is they roughhouse and they do this. Those panels, like the whole length, get grounded out, and one, it's hard on, ultimately it's hard on the fencer. So we gotta go unhook the fencer. See if I can find a staple. All right, so we got that fixed. There wasn't a good spot to set you up for that one, but I was able to salvage one of the staples that was there. The other one, not so much. That is exactly what I wanted to happen. I figured she'd do that though. Now, I'm actually gonna go in, take a little bit of a lunch, even though I just got home a little while ago. Honestly, more so because Badgers are playing in the Big Ten tournament. They've got Purdue today, so that ought to be interesting. That was a lot better game than I thought it was going to be. Badgers actually won, so they are going to the Big Ten tournament championship game, and that'll be tomorrow. So that's kind of cool. And I don't like the signs of that. Okay, so all of a sudden we have gotten into a little bit of an issue. So we've been watching, and part of the reason I didn't let that 53 calf out into the loafing shed is it didn't seem like she was, it seemed like she was sucking, but only like on 1/4. So I was like, all right, we're gonna keep her in the barn for a little bit. And I've seen her, I've watched her suck on camera. I've seen her jump on and off here and there. So I was like, okay, she's sucking. But she is very weak right now and very slow. And I am, well, one, I'm annoyed. Two, I'm a little concerned about that. But I wonder if just because of the way that cow's bag is built and she's an older cow, she could be actually sucking on a quarter that's really not that functional. So I am going to give it one of the push. I'm not going to mess around with it. I'm just going to give her a push, and hopefully that brings her back around, and then I'll give her a bottle or give her some milk in about a half hour, an hour after this starts to kick in. Alright, so we got our little creep panel set up, regular panel, and this actually fits. Sometimes we'll drive a post right there, but we don't think we'll need that this year. And then the calves will have the opportunity, they can come in here and they'll have all this space. Alright, so we got all of our feeding done. We got that creep panel in the loafing shed area set up. That calf in the barn, and I'll tell you what, if there is one thing that like pisses me off is when you think a calf is doing really well, and then like when they're like 4 days old, all of a sudden it's like oh nope, apparently they're not. I mean, that is a good cow, you know, and I know that like just literally my last video I said, or last video, one of my last videos, I said we really love that cow, and we do. But Dad did remind me that this kind of thing did happen, that calves weren't able to get on right away and really get going. But I do know that I did see her sucking on one of those front quarters. So a combination of those front quarters maybe not producing as well as the rest of them, and her old age, and there's probably not even as much as there used to be in years past. So she just wasn't getting what she was supposed to. She got a push. We tubed her half a bottle and tried to put her in a big nice bed of hay and straw and stuff like that, and just trying to make her comfortable. Hey, good morning. So we'll start out with the bad news. Unfortunately, that calf did not make it last night. So right now what we're going to do is we're upstairs in the barn. We got to get this little bit of corn out of here. We don't care if this hay goes along with it. So we're going to do this and then see where that takes us. We might fill up the rest of the gravity box, which takes us out to the corn crib. So we got to get that set up and get that going. The first couple loads out of that are a little interesting. You need a good thick stocking cap and probably a hooded sweatshirt too. If we had football helmets, we'd be wearing them. we go. It's kind of nice. I did test the corn was it yesterday or the day before? Even the corn in here yet was the same moisture as it was when we picked it. It was still like 19% or 18%, which I thought was ridiculous. We picked it in October and it should have dried out at least a little bit in here. But we're also gonna moisture test the stuff in the corn crib today too. All right, so we're setting up our elevator. We got to bring this guy down to the end, and we have a little 5-horse motor hooked on a pulley, and then it's got a spring, and we'll set it into that notch. That picks up the tension and gets the elevator to go. All right, so that's what it looks like when there's one load out of there. Yeah, it's the first couple loads is kind of interesting, as you could maybe tell. You know, we put our hoods up with our stocking caps, and those cobs dropping on your head, they still hurt. I don't know if it's, you know, the cobs are halfway decent size, but I don't know if it's maybe the variety. You know, the one thing we like about the variety of corn that we use, it has a very small cob versus the overall diameter or the kernel, you know, so it's kind of like they're decent sized cobs, but they're not super girthy. Maybe a different variety would maybe be a little bit better in there, and they wouldn't slide through, or just having better corn overall, who knows. And before I take a quick lunch, just wanted to come in, double check everybody in their new spots. Yep. Here's our bull calf from Sassy Mom here. She actually had an amazing bull calf a couple years ago out of Rugged R Cattle. That boy was awesome. So if she can repeat that out of Bruno. Hey, how's it going? It's Monday afternoon. Just got back from work and we're feeding right away, and then we are grinding corn. So thankfully the sun came out. And then also I'm probably gonna process that last bull calf too. Oh yeah, that is a husky fella. So my dad's starting on the first hopper full. Just out of curiosity, we're gonna test the corn out of the crib too. Now it's just 3 random cobs, random handful. We just got to fill up this thing all the way up to the top so it's level. And then there's a plunger as we screw it in. It'll push it and squish it flat. There we go. And then you just make sure that this is flush with the plastic. This guy right here. Okay, and then we're on low moisture corn. Hopefully it's low moisture. Testing. $15.6. So that is actually way better than what we tested from the stuff up in the barn. The stuff up in the barn was actually running at like 19. I don't know. There's obviously more airflow going through the crib corn than there is going through the stuff up in the barn. And as you can see, everybody's a little excited for their new ground feed. They know what they're getting. Everybody's happy. You can definitely tell this stuff is decent.
What does the scale go up to?
It does 1,000 pounds.
Oh.
90.
Perfect! Perfect! Just perfect!
95. 90 on scale, 95 on there.
Oh, I got it too high again.
All right, so that didn't turn out too bad. I thought he was actually bigger than that. But 90 on the scale, 95 on the tape. So that's actually a pretty good comparison. That's a little bit more in line with what we used to see, where the tape would always be just a tick bigger than the scale. So, but yeah, that's a nice size calf.